Does President Biden think the anti-Israel protesters in this country are extremists?
What I can say is what we've been very clear about this. When it comes to anti-Semitism, there is no place. We have to make sure that we speak against it very loud and be very clear about that. Remember, what the president decided to, when the president decided to run for president, is what he saw in Charlottesville in 2017.
Here, you guys, though, talk about extremists all the time. It is usually about MAGA extremists. So what about these protesters who are making Jewish students feel unsafe on college campuses? Are they extremists?
I've been very, very clear. We are calling out any form of hate.
Does President Biden look at these anti-Israel protests on college campuses and think it's nice to see that the country's youth are so involved, or does he think the next generation is doomed?
Here's the thing. There's no place for hate in America.
No.
I'm telling you, there's no place for hate in America, and we condemn any anti-Semitic threat or incident in the strongest terms. And you heard me say at the top, I gave a message to students who are feeling under threat right now, right? You know, we're tracking these threats very closely. We are there for them. No student should have to be able to go to class, live on campus in fear. And, you know, these incidents, these reported anti-Semitic incidents at schools and on campuses, that should not be. We have to condemn them. We have to condemn them. Turning to the announcement that the president just made a short time ago, following the president's signing of his historic executive order on AI, Vice President Harris will travel to United Kingdom to advance the administration's work to ensure the safe and responsible use of AI. She will also meet with Prime Minister Sunak in London and other leaders to continue our close consultations on the conflict between Israel and Hamas and Russia's war in Ukraine.
That's also moving to decouple that from Ukraine and the other supplemental request from the administration. What's the White House position on that? Would the president sign a Israel-only supplemental request, or is the White House still insisting that they all move together?
So look, just I do want to do a little bit of a lay down here because this is incredibly important. When you think about Hamas and you think about Putin, they represent different threats, right? And but both want to annihilate a neighboring democracy, and we've been very clear about that. And so we can't afford to let that happen. And that's what we've been very clear about they need.
And is the president open to considering any spending offsets for that funding?
So look, I'm certainly not going to get into hypotheticals from here, but what I can say is...
House Republicans are calling for that right
now. I understand that. I hear you. What we've been very clear about is that we want to see both move forward. We want to see both of the requests that we've made in the supplemental for the national security. We want to see both move forward because it is vital as those two countries are fighting for their democracies.
So spending offsets, is that on the table?
Look, these are emergency funding requests, right? We've been very clear about that. Like other emergency funding that Congress has passed with bipartisan support, they do not require offsets. They just don't. They don't require offset what we suggested, what we asked for, because they are emergency requests.
They require them, but if the House of Republicans want to have that, is the president open to considering?
I am telling you that they don't require offset. These are emergency requests.